To take this conversation further, we now move into a panel discussion exploring the vision of an education that cultivate a healthy society and the role mentorship initiatives like the PF's Elevate program play in shaping not only skilled professionals but also conscious and responsible citizens.
To moderate this discussion, we invite Mohini on the stage. Please welcome Mohini.
Thank you, Shikha and Arisha. So, good evening, everybody. I am Mohini. And till now, we have heard the perspective of our students on their vision of education. But I believe it is now time to steer our discussion towards some expert advice. And today, we are absolutely privileged to have 4 extraordinary individuals whose work embodies the transformative power of education across different dimensions, ranging from academia to industry and from gender equity to infrastructure development. These are leaders who have not just excelled in their fields, but have actively worked to ensure that others can follow and that society benefits from their expertise. So I would like to take the moment today to introduce you to our panelists. Our first panelist for the day is Professor Dr. Bijayalaxmi Nanda ma'am, the principal of Miranda House and Professor of Political Science. And I have had the honor of being taught by ma'am. Her research spans gender studies, political theory, and human rights. She is the author of several influential works, including Sex-Selective Abortion and the State, with numerous articles in reputed journals. A recipient of ICSSR Doctoral Fellowship and the Vice Chancellor's Teachers Excellence Award, Professor Nanda exemplifies how scholarship can drive social change. She also advises government and non-government organizations on gender policy and youth advocacy programs while providing simultaneous technical assistance to UNDP and WHO. So Professor Nanda and her work show us how the role of education is a powerful tool for social justice and gender equity. We welcome you to today's panel discussion, ma'am. I request you to join us on stage. And I also request Ambassador Mr. Ajay Bisaria, sir, to please come on the stage and felicitate ma'am with a memento. Okay, so I request Randeep Galeria, sir, to please come on this stage and felicitate ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, sir is coming to just felicitate. Please keep the applause going. Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to request you to remain on stage to felicitate our remaining panelists too. Our second panelist for the day is Professor Dr. M. Vijjulatha, the former in-charge Vice Chancellor of Telangana Mahila Visvavidyalayam and Senior Professor of Chemistry with over 30 years of pioneering research in medicinal chemistry and molecular modeling. Previously, she has served as principal of University College for Women, Koti, and her laboratory has designed novel drug molecules targeting cancer therapeutics, resulting in 126 peer-reviewed publications, 3 patent applications, and 1,500 plus citations demonstrating the global impact of her scientific work. We welcome you, ma'am. We are delighted to have you here. Our third panelist for the day is Mr. B.V.N. Rao, sir, the Executive Director and Business Chairman for Transportation and Urban Infrastructure at GMR Group, bringing a vital industry perspective to today's discussion. Mr. Rao has been associated with GMR Group since 1989, demonstrating how technical education translates into nation building through infrastructure development. With extensive experience in industrial finance and asset management, he specializes in transportation and special economic zones. As chairman of FICCI Transport Infrastructure Committee, Sir presents the critical link between education and industry and has shown sustained commitment towards providing employment to women. His vision on role of educated women in contributing towards today's future and to build a healthy nation would be vital to today's discussion. We welcome you to today's meeting, sir, to today's panel discussion, sir. And our last panelist who would be joining us through the virtual format is Professor Dr. Rachna Srivastava, the Principal and Professor of Political Science at Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya in Varanasi, who brings decades of academic leadership and unwavering commitment to girls' education. Just like her city, Varanasi, Professor Srivastava's research reflects a fascinating intersection of classical Indian political thought and contemporary relevance, which is evident in her project, which is currently working on exploring the modern relevance of Kautilya's Arthashastra. She has also led a UGC-sponsored project on Indo-Nepal relations, and Professor Srivastava is deeply involved in learning, mentoring students, and contributing to the curriculum development. Welcome to today's panel discussion, ma'am. We are absolutely delighted to have you here. Okay, so after introducing such a celebrated panel, the first question that I would like to pose to you all is rather simple and direct, but I would say a very profound one. What is your vision of education that cultivates a healthy society? The mic is on the podium. I would request a volunteer to listen.
The mics are there. You want me to go with the mic? Okay. I did have this mic. So that was Mohini's question about education. Thank you so much, Mr. Asutosh, Ramneet, your mother who is here with us, the inspiring lady who has brought this together. Happy birthday. And also Dr. Gulerias. I think that's quite an amazing lineup here. And also all the students who are here. We are indeed grateful. Miranda House is indeed grateful that we could be a part of the Princeton Fellowship. In that sense, this is a fellowship for leaders, and the leaders are all in this room. So again, a round of applause to all the leaders in the room. Mohini's question around what does education mean and how do we look at fostering young women for a larger landscape of education of leadership. I must say you are already doing that because that is the practice that you are bringing to us. So that's the first thing, that you are looking at engaging with critical learning. You are looking at engaging with an understanding of empathy. You are looking at engaging with the idea of emancipation. And the other part that you bring in is the idea of gratitude. We have a number of fellowships in colleges now. Government fellowships, teachers who have come forward to support students. We have the Reliance Foundation doing a number of fellowships. We have alumni and their children doing a number of fellowships. But what sets out this particular fellowship or let's say scholarship or whatever else you would like to call it is the fact that you are connected to them. This kind of a mentorship is actually something that defines education today. Young people are coming out. As you notice, the two young people who stood here, they told us that it is not just about the classrooms anymore. It is about those connections that you make with the society outside. So I believe that that connection has to come in through human connections. If you're looking at first generation learners, they are looking at other mentors who can tell them what is the road forward. And the road forward cannot be mapped out only by teachers. And I believe that is the road forward that you have brought to us. I have had a number of conversations with various scholarship, people who are engaging with us, but I have never seen this kind of engagement. I must say, you must appreciate the work that you're doing, but you're also setting a model for this. And this model has to be highlighted. The fact that a group of people who are living in another part of the world come together, or somebody here comes together, or the doctors who are so well known, who have a great, another occupation to go to, they are engaging with the idea of girl-child education. This by itself is the greatest message you have brought us. This is a model. This is also a kind of a model that needs to be replicated, and you have to create that model because this is the kind of value addition that needs to be made into the landscape of education. So I would suggest that the Princeton Peace and Learning Foundation should integrate it into the curriculum itself. This is not just about scholarships, and University of Delhi does have a value addition course, and I would recommend this to them, that you bring in a course which talks about empathy, talks about leadership, talks about support, talks about mentorship, which is for a long period of time. The young women who have come here, you can't bring them into this room if they were not feeling encouraged by this fellowship. So I must say a round of applause. I hope I have answered your question, but my focus has always been on 3 points. Number one, engagement. What is the level of human engagement you are able to give? It does, parents these days do not have the time to even talk to their children. If you are able to make that connection with them, you are able to give them that enabling environment to talk about themselves, to reach out to you. That's number one, engagement. Number two, emancipation. Are you interested in their upliftment? Elevate. That's what you spoke about, elevate. So that's number two. Number three, empathy. So if these three E's are joined together, education becomes the major foundation of it. So education is not just about the classroom, and our young people are telling you time and again, but I think education is about connecting the dots between engagement, emancipation and empathy. I would like to stop here and have the other panelists and listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, what you told is really enlightening us, talking about empathy. And when we talk about this cultivation of education towards a healthy society, we generally say that girl students are not into science. But when we see 95% of the girl students are in science medium, and they are in STEM, and also they are in arts. Everywhere you see girl students. And not only that, we can say that as empathy comes into picture, as the earlier speakers have told, girls are those who actually take care of their families. That is true. Because when we talk about girl students or girl children, they come to us saying that my mother is not well, that is the reason I couldn't come to the college today. But never I have seen any boy coming and telling the same thing to us. Because that empathy they have in them, inbuilt. And when we talk about the culture and ethos, women had power earlier and they have power today also. When we talk about Lakshmi, Saraswati and Parvati, Lakshmi was for the finance, Parvati was defense, and Saraswati for education. That was the culture we come from. And we have to build that culture again. We are doing it. 90% is done. With people like Ashutosh and Raminder, I feel we will go to 100% towards it. And not only that, humanity grounds, if we talk about, the children whom we are talking about, I won't gender bias here, because both boys and girls in India have that culture of humanity. But when we go abroad, we don't see that kind of culture. That is because we have an inbuilt nature of telling our children that nature has to be there in us. And nowadays, this problem of phone is causing a lot of indifference in parents and children, because everybody sits in the same hall, but nobody talks to each other.
True.
Everybody is there in their phone, talking to someone who is not close to them. So that has to be stopped. The education has to give that culture to us, which is lacking. And I always tell my students, just ask your mother whether she had her breakfast, whether she had her lunch. That we are lacking. We are very busy with our education, with our friends, but not taking care of our parents. So that also has to be taken care. And when we talk about education, after certain period of time, when women get married, have children, all the responsibility falls on the women to take care of the children. But it is actually 50% they have to take the responsibility, which doesn't happen. But yes, women are so courageous that they leave their career for their children. And after 5 or 10 years, when they feel that their children are more capable and they can take care of themselves, that they again start from the scratch with their career. That is the power of women. And that is the education which Indian culture gives them. And that is because of that, our children are so capable that wherever they are, they come up as leaders. And we see a lot of leaders here in this hall. I congratulate all of you for conducting this program in such a wonderful manner. This stage you have done, whatever you have done here on this stage is commendable. I congratulate you all for doing this. And I see leaders in you, and I expect the same you will carry forward, making others as the leaders. Thank you very much. Your opinion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Before I share my thoughts or views about the agenda, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Stosh and Madam for inviting me for today's event. Friends, I'm not a member, I am not really so much associated with this Vardhi Foundation. During COVID time, one of my classmates in engineering, he is a friend of Dr. Stosh and also a member of the governing body. He was seeking my support because they want to import certain medical equipment and they want to give as a charity to the needy, because it is a very drastic or pathetic situation we were all in. So that is how I connected to get these equipment out of the bonded warehouses and this thing. It was a struggle, of course. They all struggled and ultimately they came to me. So from that time onwards, Mr. Subbarao, my classmate, is very passionate what he was doing along with his other members. Then only I started knowing about foundation. Sir, you are doing a great job. My compliments, hearty compliments. And today when I am hearing about Madam, Mother and all, it was so touching that, Madam, many happy returns of the day. Your health and your care, your time to the society is very valuable. God bless you. When I was seeing the girl power, and Dr. Tehran was mentioning about the energy the girls displayed, and he was telling no male, very few male can exhibit that thing. Of course, we all know giving a birth itself, that is the painful, but it is a happy moment for any woman. While it is so, the theme of Elevate, or the very principle of Princeton, when Dr. Stosh was explaining, it started from education, careers, movement. Now this is the stage, this is the time Princeton is looking to prepare leadership.
Yes.
Leadership is nothing but else to lead self and lead the others. Others, thinking of others itself is a greater responsibility in my opinion. I think a couple of other speakers were also think of others. That is what one we all look forward when we are being a member of the society. Education, when we are speaking, I think it will impart responsibility, value-driven. It need not be too much of English or any language. Believing ourselves, see through our heart, and keep moving in the society so that any needy person can be shall be supported. That is what I think education will impart. While I am not a great speaker like both people on dais, I too wanted to share a couple of thoughts about education, especially girl or female education and what things. See, people will become good human beings. People will become good human beings. Yeah, no. No problem. Yeah. Before anything, just education is not career. It will make us a good human being. Then it also help us to build a healthy society. People who can think responsible, because education tell us how we are responsible. Dr. Lal was telling, we are all here because of someone else. Someone else in our lives have led us, taught us, supported us to become something. It need not be, everyone need not be number one or number two. It is not that. We are responsible and we are able to contribute. That is what my point. Then education will also bring us to act ethically. This is what we are missing. I don't say it is someone or anyone's mistake or anything. It is like we call Kala Mahima, because we are in the times. The times we exist has distracted or destroyed many of our values. When I was reading one article some time back, very long back, there were many invasions on our country or region or on Hinduism where we are living. The invaders, I don't want to name it, what I read, but the invaders identified that two things to weaken the system of Hinduism. That is women power and Gurukul Vyavastha. Because Gurukul Vyavastha is our education. Women power. Many years back, maybe it can be hundreds or thousands, the wealth and water are managed by women in our society. Male bring their energy, work, earn, but it is distributed in the society by the women. Water is our energy. Without water, there is no culture. Civilization has existed at rivers and water is existed. So, my learning is women education is very important. We run our own foundation, GMR Varalakshmi Foundation. Education is our first pillar. That too primary education. And we because of many of our factories are in remote or rural places, we find that someone was, I think Dr. Guleria was mentioning about, first, if anybody has to drop education is the girl child in the family. If you go to a rural background, a basic family, the wife and husband works in the farm. The first girl, the elder girl or the only girl in the family, she may be 5 years, 6 years old, but still she manages the home. She sends the kids or the brothers to the school. She will take care of the home at that age. So we have a scheme called Bal Badi. Like we bring those girls back to the school. We supplement them so that the family does not depend upon this girl to run the family. So this is the pathetic situation we are in. I personally work with another foundation like this, Parada in Bundelkhand. About 800 girls are there in that school, coming from very basic economic situation, because going to school itself is a big luxury for them.
True.
But today, when we are hearing many speakers over there, that women can make many things. They have a focus, they have sacrifice, they have a shared responsibility. Many families in today also, women run their professional career and also run the family. So women education is so important for the society, not for her or her family, because society is nothing but families. In my opinion, anything first act or responsibility for the society is to give education to the girl child. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we turn to our virtual panelist, Professor Dr. Srivastava. Ma'am, please contribute your insights to the question.
Yeah, good evening. I believe you are able to hear me.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. First, very happy many returns of the day to Dr. Raminder Pathak. And of course, greetings to Dr. Ashutosh Pathak, who gave me this opportunity to be associated with Princeton Foundation. In fact, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya was the first institution which got associated with Princeton Foundation through FFPL. And since 2011, our students have been getting benefited with this scholarship, fellowship, and internship. So, on behalf of VKM, I thank you for this, Dr. Pathak. And today we are discussing, and I was hearing as to how education can create a healthy society. Of course, education is the catalyst, is the big change maker which can create, which can make, which can initiate a healthy society. But it is also very important as to what kind of education we are giving to our students, to our children. There was a time when I was a student, we used to get not only skill-based education for employability, but we also used to get life skills taught in the classes. We used to have religious and moral education class, we used to have sports class, and all these classes taught us so many things. They taught us how to be responsible, how to be able to work in a team, how to be able to tolerant with each other's views. So I see education as more than just imparting knowledge or practical skills. It is not only about career or degrees, as the students were also saying. They have very ably expressed themselves. In fact, the duty of education is to awaken the hidden power which is amongst all of us. And that hidden power is nothing miraculous. It is social empathy. It is emotional intelligence and ethical responsibility. When these powers are awakened amongst us, along with critical thinking, then only we can create a healthy society. So, such instructions as encourage students to think critically, ask questions, and reason instead of just absorbing things, instead of just roting the things, then only knowledge can be imparted, then only we can impart democratic principles to them, which will bring diversity and inclusivity, which will foster a sense of collective responsibility, accountability for the environment, for ecology, which is a major issue nowadays, and for the future community, for the future generation. There has to be accountability, there has to be a sense of accountability inculcated amongst our young generation. So education has a great role to play to make our society healthy, but it should also be considered as to what kind of education we are focusing upon. So this is what I think education can do for the society. It can become a force for social cohesiveness and fairness and well-being of the people, of the mankind. So in this way, thoughtful, knowledgeable, and caring citizens are formed, rather than just a society which is competitive and which lacks in empathy. So this will create a healthy society.
Thank you, ma'am. The discussion we have had till now has been illuminated. And to build upon this, the next question that I would like to pose to the panel is that we have programs like Princeton Foundation's Elevate initiatives, which provide mentorship to female students from across India, free of cost for their holistic development, as well as to nurture future leaders. Based on your experiences, how do you believe that such mentorship programs complement the traditional college education? And what role do they play in building not just skilled professionals, but also conscious citizens who can contribute to a healthier society?
Thank you, Mohini. Now, this particular question ties up very well with the earlier question that you had asked, that how do you imagine holistic education? I would like to state that the National Education Policy has provided space for value additions, for skill enhancement courses. So already there is a planning at the level of the Government of India. And the kind of initiatives that the Government of India has taken, where they are looking at women-led development, there is a space also for entrepreneurship. Now it is for us to look at the lead and to look at the lag. So what are the lag areas? The lag areas, for my understanding, and because I am in a college of 6,000 students and 200 teachers, and I am looking at University of Delhi's landscape of learning, I feel it's first thing that we need to do is faculty development programs. The teachers have to be really trained in order to be able to make that link between skill enhancement courses and employability, or creating that link with the industry. So that particular lag needs to be fulfilled. And in that process, universities have been asked, and the National Education Policy is also saying, bring about greater industry-academia linkages. So that particular path, while I am being told that, and I'm a teacher of political science, and I'm sitting in the seat of the principal of the college, and I taught for 32 years, nobody has yet told me how I am supposed to do that. How am I going to bring about a linkage with industry? Today, when we saw Dr. Guleria here, Dr. Trehan here, Mr. Bharatlal here, and I see my friend Suman coming in here from Lady Shri Ram College, and she was a leader in every sense of the term. We saw all of them, this kind of a network that is not possible for all colleges to reach out to and for all young people to get in touch with. We undermine this particular linkage. How do you bring industries to a networking field where our students have a level playing field with them? There is, of course, the placement cell. But if this particular program, there is a round table of students who are sitting with the industry heads, or sitting with corporate heads, or sitting with social work organizations, and speaking about what is it that they want to, or what is it that they aspire to do. And if there is an individualized learning path, where you are able to look at what are the limitations that this student has, and then you are able to hone it. You are looking at a dynamic workplace now. The future of the workplace has to engage with AI. It has to engage with part of it is that there is AI, which will replace some of the kind of work that used to be there in our times. While that is being replaced, the area that you are working on, this is very important, not just from a way of saying, okay, you should all be caring and loving individuals, and women are such loving, creatures. It's not about that. I don't think we should essentialize that. I don't think we should be putting a lot of emphasis that women give birth to children and therefore they are essentially the best creatures on earth. No, it's not about birth giving. We are all creators in our own right. And even if some of us cannot have children, that doesn't make us lesser. So let's say we do not want to have children or cannot have children. That doesn't make us lesser. I think the idea of creation, the creative forces in us, you said Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga, we don't talk about their children so much. We talk about their energies. So these energies that is present in us, we must hone that. And in order to hone that, you need to bring about those linkages. Colleges cannot do it alone. And this kind of a hand-holding, apart from the scholarships that you provide, giving us a level playing field, where there is a corporate group sitting there, where there is a NGO group sitting there, where they are able to tell these students, hey, we are looking for these skills. And the skill that is going to be talked about most because that AI cannot provide you, is actually empathy. So empathy training is a very important part of the learning that has to be developed now. You want to create workplaces which are inclusive, you cannot be talking about our differences. That's the first thing you don't need to do. You don't need to tell that, you know, this particular community is better than this community. No, that's the first thing we should let go of. We should talk about harmony. We should talk about inclusiveness. We should talk about engaging with each other as human beings. And as team learn, you know, peer team training or leadership, actually transformational leadership is about leading from behind. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to create an equal workplace? How are you going to have equal conversations? It's one thing to glorify everything that used to exist in the past, but right now the AI requires us to be far more empathetic than we were. And empathy training, transformational leadership is a very important lag that we have now. So I am saying let's not even think that this is about the scholarship. Peace and transformation are linked, and peace requires us to talk to each other and not to cancel each other out. And that training is a very important training. I would say emphasize on empathy training for transformational leadership. Bring people who are in the corporate sector, in the industry, in the government on a level playing field with the student. What you have done is amazing, getting the students to completely run this program. So I think that's basically it. We need to bring young people to the table itself. You can't have them listening. So I'm just speaking on their behalf. Things I've learned from them, I'm only telling you that. They are less judgmental, so you need to bring in their values here into the system. They are extremely stimulating. They give space to each other. When a question was being asked, this young girl who was sitting right here, just behind me, I said, why don't you get up and stand up? She said, let the other person finish. So I think you don't really need to tell them. They already know. They know that they are able to give that space to each other. I think we have to also encourage a sharing. We have to put in a trust. So there should be no deficit of trust on young people. This generational gap is not something we should be talking about. I think what we need to emphasize is on their strengths. You have seen it. So I would say empathy training, emphasizing on trust building is a very important part of that, and then learning something every day. I always feel every day you need to learn something new. Today I learned so much from when I came here. Keeping that innate curiosity is very, very important. So when we create these systems where we are able to synergize together, I think we would have created, you know, the gap, the lag would be, you know, you'd be able to link that up. So Princeton Foundation should right now create this foundation not just as a scholarship giving or mentoring team, it should get into the very, you know, integration with the curriculum. Then look at another space where you look at how you can also bring in a link between employment, opportunities, employability, bringing in the skills of the future workplace. The future workplace is extremely dynamic, and many of us, I think Dr. Guleria can tell us how so many doctors may actually be replaced by some kind of instrumentation that is going to come in. I have no idea, but you could tell us. And what are those students going to learn? They have to learn better bedside manners. I think medical doctors need to learn that far more now, because the AI could replace somebody, but that bedside manner, that you know, loving touch, that nobody can provide. So young people should not undermine what you are learning today. It's very important. I have learned that from my father, and I felt that that's the most important thing. When I came to Miranda House, I was a teacher. I didn't want to sit in this chair of the principal. I thought it was meant for authoritarian leadership only. But when I came in there, my father said, what do you like to do? I said, I like to help people. Well, you can do that sitting here. I want to work for the girl child. You can do that sitting here. So I realized I don't necessarily have to be hierarchical or authoritarian. I could be who I am and yet continue to do that. So giving back to others. But it is actually a skill. Many people told me this is not the way leadership should be. You're too accessible. You're too, you know, humanized for being that leader. But I realized that you could bring all of that to the table. And you could still, I mean, the chair need not define me. I could define the chair. And for young people here who felt they don't have a voice, that's what I want them to think, that the values that they have, that's enough. We don't need to teach you anything. You already know it. All you need to do is to hone it, and we need to hold their hand to link them up to the people who matter most. And that could be the corporate sector. That could be the NGO sector. That could be creating an entrepreneurship system. So we are expected to do startup environment. How are we going to do that if we do not have industrialists and other people putting in funding for that? If we are able to do that, we would have done it. If you're looking at internships, what's that space that we need to explore? I mean, there's a whole lot of ideas. I know I've taken a little more time, but I think what I would like you to do here is not to see it only as a one-off event, which I'm sure you are not thinking of. How are you going to give, look at that lag? There's a lot of lead. You can see they're all leaders in their own right. I don't need to sit here to tell you that. But what you will really need to do is to make that link and create more harmonious workplaces. This time will go. This time will pass. The world is not going to look like this as it is looking now. You have to prepare yourself for that future. We cannot really decide. We are net migrants. They are the net citizens. We have to listen to them. So on that note, thank you so much.
I agree with you, but slightly disagree with you, because at a grassroots level, when we talk about, there is a lot of gender bias. I agree. But when we talk about Princeton Foundation, the initiative they took as goal has transformed these girls that we can see. Now, they are not only thinking about career, not only examinations, curriculum, but they are also thinking about other initiatives, what they can do for the society is inculcated into them by Princeton Foundation. I feel that because of Princeton Foundation, many girls have
completely agree with that. No disagreement.
Come up with the initiatives. They say we are ready to support other girls who are underprivileged or marginalized. Not only that, if we talk about Princeton Foundation's initiatives, they have talked about they have given mentorship, internships. Internships are helping them to bridge the gap between academia and industry. Because of these internship programs, they are able to learn many things which we as college cannot teach them. We are not only concentrating on the curriculum and how much what should they write in their examinations. All
Ma'am,
that.
I have not said that. I'm just saying that
nothing
lag
like that.
for the students.
I'm just telling you what Princeton has done and
I'm
how
aware,
much
I'm aware of
transformative the children have become
I'm aware
because
of
of this.
I'm aware of
And I would say these leaders in future will again transform the other generations to come forward. And I would say not only this, I will take this platform to tell you that AI is replacing everything and everywhere. So I urge all the younger generation to learn the skills of AI. Let it be Notebook LLM, Perplexity, Gemini, Cosmo, whatever it may be. And it is also coming into research field. So you have to know as to what you have to take over from AI. AI should not replace you, but actually it should support you to improve your skills. That's what I would like to say. I'm not contradicting you, I'm just telling you my view about
I
the
believe
things. Okay?
Princeton Foundation is doing a yeoman job.
Yes,
all I'm
yes.
saying is we should replicate it. That's all I'm saying.
And I would also say in our curriculum, whatever Princeton Foundation is doing, if we can include that mentorship program, internships, everything if we can include in the curriculum, I think we can transform generations together to become the leaders. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think very passionate and address and the challenge, disruptive society we are in. AI can be an oxygen. AI can also be a congestion. How you track ourselves in that and reach what we need. I think every child is having access to AI today. But what is that we ask? I think that is what Madam was saying. So what is the question you ask? How you ask? That makes difference what we get it. Okay, while we go to AI, it is a different world. But I think Princeton's Elevate and the thinking of mentorship, I think it is a great idea. When I heard Mr. Dr. Stosh about transforming from student to leader, lead self and society, I repeat again, I think you are looking to the next level of your own students, and by snowballing effect, these students will make societies. That is what all of us have seen in our life. Well, I don't want to talk about the advantages of mentorship. Definitely, mentorship brings the experience, the learning of a senior person or even a colleague. That is what the mentorship. When I am hearing Madam, I was thinking of Dr. Lal was mentioning that his daughter, 8th class student, she was asked to spend 2 hours a day. That is okay. It may be big or small, I don't want to teach another girl. So when we are talking about corporate social responsibility or a social responsibility, we in our organization, we have an extended responsibility. We call it ISR, individual social responsibility.
Very nice.
It is not that society does or anything. So each individual has a responsibility to support the society. In my opinion, like a 8th class student can afford and spend some time, a needy, another child, to build her career or studies, whatever it may be. So mentorship shall be an individual social responsibility.
Very nice.
Like we encourage our employees to spend some time. It can be service, it can be charity, or it can be time. In my opinion, time is the most valuable contribution one can sacrifice for others. Everyone has only 24 hours with us. We have our own responsibilities, but still we shall find time to give it to someone else good. I think that is what ISR brings in. I think this mentorship brings responsibility. Mentorship will help them understand better challenges once they are growing in their lives, how they can help society also around them, so that if it is also again a snowballing effect. One family is good, then it can build another good family, another responsible family. So one session I would like to, while hearing Madam, I felt that in the schools we have parent-teacher meetings. So, okay, you talk about their own children or the school. Why don't we cultivate an idea that the parents shall spend weekly 1 hour with some other child or a family? You ask them. You don't ask any fee or anything. You ask them, we will support your child, because anyhow, Garka Pan, if father tells the son or daughter, it will be not often. But they can spend time with others. So one way of spreading this mentorship is schools itself. They can mentor other students, because anyhow their children have their own mentorship. Right, wrong, we hear others rather than inward. So one is how we can all popularize this ISR, individual social responsibility, to mentor needy people. And industry and education, like industry university, when we call our college, I think very important. The alumni, at least they should give it back by way of mentorship, sponsorship, or this thing, because I don't want to comment on the education system. We have millions of unemployment. On the other side, we will not find employable sources.
Exactly.
This is the gap.
Exactly.
This is the gap. I think the NEP has focused on it. Upskilling, upskilling in our own employees also we call them upskilling is another way of making our organizations as efficiency. But I think upskilling is the building of the society to the next times. I think mentorship plays very big role, specific to Princeton. I think it is a great idea, sir. We all support, commit, whatever way it is possible. Thank you. Thank all the students and would-be leaders, or leaders already, many of them I have seen, the way they conducted the program, commendable, compliments and all the best.
Well said.
Thank you, sir. Rachna ma'am.
I was listening to the other panelists, and it was very interesting to hear all three of you. Of course, mentorship is an important part of, I would say, not only of a student's life, but of all of us. We all need a mentor to guide us at some point of our life. And in NEP, of course, we have this mentorship program where we have to designate a teacher for a group of students, and the teacher mentors the students. However, when we talk of mentorship programs like Elevate of the Princeton Foundation, I see that this kind of program significantly enhance the college experience, especially in India, where this kind of initiatives are very few. Numerous students, mostly women, particularly women, I would say, and that too first generation learners or individuals who come from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. They possess talent, but they often lack exposure and self-confidence. Mentoring can help them here. I have seen students in my college, and I have seen that for the past 10 years, a number of our students have come out because of this mentoring program of the Princeton Foundation. In fact, one of our students about whom I know, she is in the US pursuing her doctoral program. So that girl from Banaras to the US, she found her way to there because of this mentorship program. So these programs are extremely important for those students who do not have that much of exposure. In fact, colleges prioritize completing the curriculum, making assessments, and mentorship address, which is a vital need in India, is sometimes neglected in colleges because of the dearth of resources, I believe. So in India, mentorship program is quite necessary to enhance confidence among students, to guide students in their career paths. Many a times we do this in our classes. We guide our students, tell them what career options do they have beside the set career options of like civil services and etc. Now students are getting this kind of mentorship from not only from Princeton Foundation, but also from other institutions, from other NGOs which are guiding them. It is better to get mentorship from this kind of institutions instead of getting it from AI, because AI has now become a mentor not only for young generation but for like everyone. We all go for AI, we all go to AI for advice. So educational institutions lack in mentorship, and there this kind of program can fill in and guide students, provide them information, provide them insights, and offer them personalized support. Having mentors who are familiar with both Indian context and global prospects can be greatly impactful, and this is what Princeton Foundation is doing, I believe, especially for students in Varanasi in our college. These programs not only cultivate skilled professionals, but also they foster aware and grounded citizens. So when young women recognize that their personal development is closely related with the societal progress, whether through leadership programs, community participation, etc., they nurture a healthier and more inclusive social and personal environment. So I believe Princeton Foundation is doing a great job with its program like Elevate, and surely we have introduced a number of VAC and SEC under NEP, but still we need more I would say more people, philanthropists, to come forward with this kind of model. As somebody was saying that this model should be replicated, I fully agree with this, because more and more of our students, more of our young women, not only young women, but young men and women, they need this kind of mentoring so that they move on the right path. So this is what I would like to add to all what is already expressed by the three panelists.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I must say it has been a total privilege for all of us to witness this conversation between four extraordinary leaders. And I believe the responses, though different, beautifully complement each other, showing us different pathways through which education transforms society. Thank you, everybody, and I'm especially grateful to our panelists for giving us so much to reflect upon, and most importantly, your words have guided us to act. To our students and audience, the vision of education we discussed today isn't just an ideal, and it's a call to action for each of us. I request you all to carry this forward in your life, because this panel discussion should not merely be a discussion, but an action. So thank you so much, everybody. I would like to request the panelists to please take their seats. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.